Hi everyone, it's time to talk about a subject that you might find extra interesting if you want to make some money or perhaps a living off of your artwork. It's time that we had the portfolio talk. I've had a website for my art for the past, I think it's 14 years actually. I want to talk about what it means to have a portfolio for your art. And maybe not just for your art. Maybe you're a YouTuber/influencer or something like me and want that part to reflect on your website/portfolio as well. We'll talk about that too in this video. And of course, we're also going to talk about getting your own online shop if that's something that you have on your wish list as well. So there's already a lot that we're going to address in this video, and I'll do my best to also pass on all of the experience and valuable tips and tricks that I've picked up on building a portfolio over the years. And I'm happy to announce that this video is sponsored by Wix. Wix is an online website builder which allows you to create stunning and functioning websites right at your hands for your art or any other purpose that you might need a site for. The Wix Builder allows you to have completely creative freedom so that you can customize your site down to the tiniest details. When Wix approached me, I was considering to try to host my website with a new provider, so I've been rebuilding my entire website for the past month with Wix. And I gotta say that I have enjoyed the process of rebuilding my site. I haven't had this much creative freedom since I wrote my own websites with HTML and CSS. And ain't nobody got time for that anymore, okay? I even added my very own store to my website that I can manage through the dashboard or on my phone. So I'm generally super excited to share this process with you. So here's how we're going to approach today's video. I'm going to show you some of the process of building my new website with Wix, and meanwhile I'm going to share some tips and tricks about the subjects that I just mentioned before and talk a bit about the pages that I'm building. But first and foremost, let me try to answer the obvious question: why you should have an online portfolio for your artwork. If you want a chance to get noticed and get a job in the industry or as a freelance worker, you gotta put your work out there. And why can't you just use Instagram, for instance, you might ask? Well, for starters, you can use whatever you are most comfortable with. But if you want to use, let's say, Instagram as your portfolio, you should only ever have your best and most recent work posted there. People who might be interested in hiring you or on the lookout for new artists for their team, they don't want to look through your old work or have to sort for your best pieces themselves. It has to be available to them immediately. This is very important. You could also use a site like ArtStation for that, but let me tell you why I think it's better that you have your own website. Number one, customization. You can design your website to bring out the best in your pieces. Maybe you can't settle with some locked grid design that doesn't necessarily complement your work. And here's where the power of creative freedom comes in when you choose to have your own site. You can also decide for yourself how your work should be categorized, how many subpages, or how big you want your pieces to show. Number two, personality. Your work might say a lot about you, but so does your website. Look at these two examples. This website conveys calmness, maybe casuality, there are some warm colors. It has this big animated illustration to greet you and captivate you by your first glance. This other site focuses more on showing you different kind of work on the front page and is accompanied with a very yellow background. That's kind of bold, and that definitely gives us an idea about who this artist is. So it can be very subtle things like a background color, a minimalistic front page, a font that might reveal a little more about you. And it does mean something who you are when someone might be looking to hire you. And here are some other additional pros to having your own portfolio website. It shows that you care about how your art is presented. It can also make it easier for you to sell your art. It shows that you are serious about your art, and it shows a different side of your creativity as well. I just simply can't stress enough how important I think it is. And it's not like you can't use Instagram, ArtStation, DeviantArt, Tumblr, or whatever too, but having a place that is your own, where you can direct people with business in mind, in my opinion, is very beneficial. So now that that is out of the way, let's jump right into it. When you're hosting your website on Wix, you can choose from a lot of different templates. They're categorized out here to the left, so you can easier find a template that complements the kind of content that you want on your website. Naturally, we're looking for something with galleries for our artwork. There were so many templates to choose from, I had such a hard time picking a template. And in reality, I wasn't really considering what kind of website I needed at first. And as soon as I realized that, I knew exactly which direction I was headed. So here's a tip for you. Consider what the purpose of your website should be. Is it to get you hired in a studio? Is it to attract clients for your freelance work? Is it to host a shop, a blog, commission info, or simply to host your resume and a contact form so people can reach you? In my case, I made a list of things I want my website to be for, and a list of things I don't want my website to be for. So basically, my website will be a bit of everything, because I'm doing a bit of everything. I sell prints and merch online, I'm looking for collaborators and sponsors for my YouTube channel, I also look for freelance work, and on top of that, I just want my art to be present as well, because duh, that's what I'm all about. Then there are the smaller things, such as getting people to sign up for my newsletter, social media links, and a blog. So let's talk a bit about the art-related content on your website. If you're looking to be hired by a studio, you should make a website that mainly focuses on your artwork. You can have all the other stuff as well, but your artwork is most important and should be the dominant factor. If you're looking to be hired by a specific studio, research that studio and the artist working there as well, and draw inspiration from that and reflect it on your website. If you want to paint illustrations for Magic the Gathering, you don't want unrelated artwork on your front page the day an employee from Magic the Gathering takes a look. The cool thing about Wix's editor is that you can customize your gallery. You can decide how many pieces will be displayed per row, you can decide exactly how big your gallery should be, the order of the pieces, as well as the aspect ratio of the thumbnails. And honestly, you can customize a lot more, including animations, and all you gotta do is drag it out from the menu and add your own pictures. But how do you know what pieces to include and in what order? Here's another tip for you. Include your 10 to 15 best pieces in your portfolio and don't have anything in there that's over 2 years old. If you show more than one piece of art on your front page like a gallery, make sure your absolute best pieces are the ones the visitor sees first, not necessarily the newest ones. If you have one big image on your front page, make it sure that it's the best one you created in the past 2 years. If your different section for your art like illustrations and concept art, have 10 to 15 pieces on each page. It's just a general rule of thumb that I've heard a lot of people say, and it's really up to you to decide how many to include. Lots of artists put a lot more art on their site. I'm just citing a general tip that I've heard from multiple great artists on portfolio structure. Another important page to include on your site is an info or about page. On this page you can write a little about yourself. I decided to also put my Instagram feed at the bottom of the page because it's my personal art and I feel like it should be displayed on the page which is about me. I also wanted to add a short resume for future clients and or collaborators so they can see what I've been doing. I used the drag and drop tools in Wix editor to create a box layout with different columns and fonts for my resume. You can also add animations to your site elements so that they transition in when the visitor lands on the page. It's just a subtle but very neat feature, just don't overdo it with the animations. Don't turn your website into a PowerPoint presentation. So, one of the very important things to me was that I could build my own shop. Up until now, I've used Etsy to sell my art, and while there's definitely also pros to use Etsy, I think that customization is very limited, and it does cost a fee to add, maintain, and restock products. Having my store on my own site eliminates those fees, and I get a lot more customization options like banners and image cropping and much more. The Wix plan that I have in the moment, by the way, is the Business Unlimited plan. I have a business plan because I need to be able to accept payments online in order to run a store on my website. One of the things I don't like about using Etsy is that my listings disappear if they sell out. Now I can actually keep the product in the store even though it's out of stock, and I can just put a label on it saying that it will be restocked. You can set up different kinds of payment methods for your site as well, including PayPal. Depending on where you live, there are some different providers, so just make sure to choose the one that fits you the best based on your location. Let me show you how intuitive it is to add a product to your shop. You can access your store products either directly from the editor when you click on your store element, or you can access it from the dashboard. Then you click New Product and select whether it's a physical or a digital product. In my case, it's a print, so it's physical. So first I upload and insert the images of my product. You can add multiple images at once and you can drag their order too. Then you name the product and add the price. If you type something into this ribbon field, you will get a ribbon on the product in the store's front page. Then fill out the description for the product. You can also add some additional info sections or custom text for your customers. Further down, you can choose to create variants for your product. Maybe it comes in different sizes or colors or different paper types. You can have different prices and track different inventories for all variants as well. This product only comes in one person though, so I'll just leave it blank. I'm tracking inventory on this print and adding the weight of 0.25 kilo. It's actually not the real weight of the print, surprise surprise, but my shipping rates are categorized in weight classes, so this way I'm sure the correct shipping class is added. I made some different collections for my store as well, so I will place this product in the print collection. And when you're done, you hit save and your product will now show up in your store once you update the page. And it's really just that simple. One of the strongest features of Wix's editor, in my opinion, is the mobile view and mobile editor. In other website editors I've tried, the mobile option are often mostly just previews of your site on a phone, and you'll have to go back and edit the desktop version for it to change on the mobile version. With Wix editor, you can actually move things around or hide elements that are not fit for mobile view, and it leaves your desktop version completely untouched. So for instance, if the text is too big for the mobile version, you can shrink it down, but it won't do anything to the text on the desktop version. Remember that it's very, if not most likely, that a client will check you out from their phone. So it's very important that your website is optimized for phones as well. A page that I really like to add on my website is the Work With Me page. I don't want a potential client or collaborator to need to go look for where they can get in touch with me, so I just put it right there in the menu with all the other stuff. My Work With Me page mainly consists of two things: the text with headlines and a contact form. There are mainly two sides of what I do. I do YouTube and I do art. So these paragraphs are here to emphasize those two for potential clients. An important part of my personal workflow for creating a website is that I design on the fly. I look at the tools available to me and I try out a lot of different stuff before finally settling on something. Here you can see me building a lot of different front pages because I wasn't really sure what I wanted. And it's maybe just because Wix has so many features that I just have to try out a bunch of them. I ended up going with the front page with the big picture as a background. So basically my entire website is built on trial and error and testing out a lot of different options. I think it's important to emphasize that you don't have to settle on your design forever. I, for instance, like to renew my website once a year, so something always happens. I also update my gallery with my newest pieces every month, as well as switching up the front page art once in a while. Let's talk about the art sections. At the moment I have two main art sections on my website: illustrations and sketches. Some people would probably advise you to only include your finished pieces in your portfolio. Others will probably tell you that some rough work is a great addition as well. Some clients would love to see your rougher works as well, because it tells a lot about your process. So here are some different ideas for portfolio structures that you can consider for your website. The project portfolio. Your pieces each has their own page. You should include the final illustration along with some work in progress, text captions, videos, whatever you can think of that is related to that piece. The single gallery portfolio. Have a single page for all of your art set up so it looks good. Clicking the images will likely just open a bigger version of the image in expander mode or in a lightbox. Very simple and easily accessible. Then there are subgalleries. Creating a page for each of your gallery. This is the option I'm going with at the moment. If you make all sorts of art and have a lot of it, you can have a subgallery for each section. Examples could be illustrations, concept art, sequential art, also known as comics, and character design. You can have as many or as few subgalleries as you want, just remember to keep some kind of focus. So after working for a month or so on my new website, I'm finally starting to land on a final design. At least until I decide to change it. The page that I want to spend a little more time on at some point is my commission page, because I think it does look a little messy. And here's a tip for you if you host your commission info on your website, which by the way you should totally do, because each time someone clicks on your commission info, you have a visitor on your site. Okay, here's the tip. You can set up a custom contact form to serve as a commission order form. Simply drag a form onto your site and customize it with all the fields that you require. This form is simply sending you an email, and I find it super handy to use a form for commissions. You can add or remove fields, make them required to answer, or even add checkboxes. I also decided to try the FAQ extensions because I really needed a place to some of my questions and answers about my shop and my art that I can direct people to. It was very intuitive, I think, and I'm definitely keeping this one. So I think it's time for the final tour of my portfolio. So this is how my website turned out. Feel free to go explore it yourself with the link in the description. My store is also officially launched on my website along with some stocking of sold out prints. And if you have any questions related to my store, feel free to check out my FAQ page or write me an email using my form. I really like how my new website turned out, and I'm pretty impressed with all of the creative freedom that I was able to retain from Wix's editor, even though I started out with a template. The best part about Wix is that you can go there immediately, like right now, and try out the editor and set up a website. Just go to wix.com or wix.com/go/Nadiaxel and get started building a new killer portfolio right away. And if you want to upgrade to a premium plan, you can get 15% off a yearly premium plan of your own choice. Just use the promo code Nadiaxel15, and remember, you have to choose a business plan if you want to be able to have a store. And I would really appreciate it if you would check out my site at nadiaxel.com as well. If you like my video, please remember to give it a thumbs up because it makes such a huge difference for my channel. Subscribe for more videos in the future and hit the little ding dong to get notified of my uploads. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye!